Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make my low-carb moussaka. Moussaka is one of my all-time favorite classic Greek recipes, and since I'm eating more low-carb these days, I've incorporated lots of healthy low-carb recipes to my diet, and I'm sharing one of my favorites with you today. Instead of potatoes and the cream sauce, I'm going to be adding lots of vegetables like cauliflower, bell pepper, and tomatoes. It's going to be so good. Let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. We're going to need some ground beef for the meat sauce, salt, crushed red pepper flakes, fresh garlic cloves, black pepper, some tomatoes, grated Parmesan cheese. You can use mozzarella instead if you want, a large onion, olive oil, some small bell peppers, or you can use a big, large bell pepper, fresh parsley, some fresh eggplant, cauliflower, oregano, and some pureed tomatoes. We're going to begin by slicing the eggplant because they need to drain out their bitter juices. So we're going to slice them into half-inch thick slices. So you're just going to place the eggplant slices in a colander, and you're just going to sprinkle them very liberally with some salt. You can also put them on a baking tray and do the same thing. And then you can just take 2 plates and weigh them down. Put it on a baking tray or in your sink and leave it on the side for about 20 or 30 minutes. You're going to see that the juices are going to start to come out. We're going to set this aside. Now we're going to prepare our cauliflower. I'm just going to cut this end off and all of these leaves. And I'm going to cut the cauliflower in half. And then I'm just going to cut it into about half-inch thick slices. And don't worry too much if the florets start to come off. It's okay. And I've already rinsed it, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to place the slices of cauliflower into my baking pan. I'm using a round baking pan, but you can use a 9 by 13 inch casserole pan or lasagna pan, whatever you have in your house. This is a medium, like a small to medium size cauliflower. The last time I made this, the cauliflower was much bigger and I had leftover pieces. So if you do have leftover pieces, you can go ahead and save them and keep them on the side for the meat sauce. I'm going to drizzle with 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm going to season it very simply with some salt and some freshly ground black pepper. Make sure to season both sides. My oven is preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. The cauliflower is going to bake for about 20 minutes or until it's tender. I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out. Now we're going to move on to making the meat sauce. So now I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of olive oil to my pot because we're going to make the meat sauce. It's the same meat sauce that I've made over and over again. And it begins with a large onion that I've diced up. And then I'm using 6 garlic cloves. Since these are very big, I'm just going to cut them in half and put them right in there with the onions. I'm just going to season with a little bit of salt. And I'm going to cover this and let it cook over medium heat for about 10 to 15 minutes or until they're nice and soft and golden. Once the garlic starts to soften up, I'm just going to go in there with the back of a wooden spatula and I'm just going to break it up so that way it's going to end up melting into the sauce. So I'm going to add my beef to this. You can use ground chicken if you wanted to, or ground lamb, whatever you like, whatever your favorite cut of meat is, whatever you have in your refrigerator or freezer, use that. So as you can see, this beef is still a little bit frozen. That is not a problem. I just didn't take it out in time yesterday and leave it in my fridge long enough to thaw out properly. It is still going to be fine. It's just going to take a few extra minutes to cook. We're just going to go ahead and add the remaining ingredients for our meat sauce, which are some crushed red pepper flakes for heat if you want it, some salt, freshly ground black pepper, dried oregano, and the crushed tomatoes. I usually buy canned diced tomatoes and then I just go ahead and puree them in my blender. You can go ahead and grate fresh tomatoes as long as you have about 1 pound, it should do. I'm going to go ahead and also rinse out this jar so we don't waste any of the tomatoes. About 1 cup of water should do it. It's also going to help the meat cook. I'm going to let this cook on medium-high heat, mixing it often, especially because the meat is still a little bit on the frozen side. If it's not frozen in 25 minutes, your meat sauce will be done. You're looking for it to be nice and thick. I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it's ready. So after about 20 or 30 minutes, you will see that the salt has helped the eggplant sweat out a lot of their bitter juices. If you have them in the colander, a lot of the juices will have fallen down to the bottom. Just go ahead and pat them dry with some paper towels. Now you can prepare these eggplants 3 different ways. You can bake them in the oven just like I did the cauliflower. You would put these on probably 2 sheet pans because I don't think they would fit on one. Brush both sides with a little bit of olive oil and season with salt and pepper, and just roast them at 425 degrees until they're nice and tender. That should take anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, so you can do it that way. You can also brush them with a little bit of oil and season them with salt and pepper and just grill them on your barbecue grill. Or you can do what I'm doing and just pan fry them on a cast iron skillet. That is my favorite way to do it, but you do it whichever way you want. I'm going to go ahead and put some olive oil in a cast iron skillet. I love cast iron skillets because they retain heat really well, and they have a really nice big surface. It's heating over medium-high heat, and I'm going to go ahead and put the eggplant in there and cook them about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, or until they're golden and tender. So once they're ready, transfer the slices onto a tray or a plate lined with paper towels so it can absorb all the oil. If you are using the pan frying method, you're just going to have to keep in mind that eggplant does like to absorb oil, so you're going to have to keep adding more oil each batch that you fry. Keep doing this until your eggplant slices are all ready, and then we're just going to put everything all together. Okay, so once the meat sauce is done, go ahead and taste it and adjust the seasoning with some salt and pepper if it's needed. Everything is ready. I've sliced my tomatoes and my bell peppers. Now we're going to put it all together. Now I'm just going to sprinkle lots of Parmesan cheese. This is shredded Parmesan cheese. You can use kefalotiri or kefalograviera if you want over our cauliflower. And then we're going to take this beautiful pan-fried eggplant that should just be melting and place it on top of the cauliflower. Once the eggplant layer is done, you're going to go ahead and sprinkle some cheese. I've kind of overlapped my eggplant just so that way they could all fit on one layer. If you have larger eggplant, you're going to have some slices left over. No problem. You could put it on top of the meat sauce underneath the tomatoes once we get there. The meat sauce is beautiful. This is what it should look like. It should be nice and thick. There shouldn't be a lot of like liquid to it. Otherwise, your dish will fall apart when you go to serve it. Now we're just going to place all of the meat sauce on top of the eggplant. I like to make double batches of this because it freezes well. It's great for meal prep. If you have a double batch of this ready, if you meal prep on Sundays, some people do, or whenever you do, if you have a double batch of meat sauce ready in the fridge, you can just create a meal every day. You can do a nice breakfast by rolling it, stuffing an omelet with it. You can stuff vegetables and sprinkle them with cheese and roast them in the oven. You can just put some spinach and potatoes in this and add a little bit stock and just create a nice stew. You can put it over pasta or zoodles. The sky's the limit, so always keep this on hand. Once the meat sauce is in, sort of press it in, and we're going to do one last layer of cheese on top of that. Now the top layer can also be mozzarella if you want, or Gruyere, or even some shredded cheddar cheese, any cheese that melts well. Now we're going to make a layer of tomato slices. Now I have Roma tomatoes because that's what I found that was the freshest at the supermarket. If you can get bigger tomatoes, you'll need lesser or fewer tomatoes because you'll have larger rounds, if that makes any sense. Go ahead and make a layer on top, and then I'm just going to put the bell pepper slices over that. Such a great way to get veggies into your diet, such a delicious way. And then I have a little bit of olive oil in this bowl, and I'm just going to brush the tomato tops with it, just so that way they can get beautifully golden in the oven when they roast. You could also do this before you put them on top of the meat sauce. And then since we season all the way, a little bit more salt on top of that. The oven is preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to bake in there for about 25 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out. So the house smells amazing. I cannot wait to bite into this, but once it comes out of the oven, you want to make sure that you let it rest for a good 15 minutes so that way everything can settle down and it won't fall apart when you go in to cut it. Now it roasted in the oven for 25 minutes. Then I went ahead and put the broiler setting to high, and I left it in there for another 5 to 8 minutes, or just until the top, the tomatoes and the bell peppers get a little bit caramelized and nice and dark. I think that looks pretty and they taste better too. I've chopped some fresh parsley and I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle it on top, and it just looks beautiful. Now we eat with our eyes, so you want the food to look as good as it tastes, and this looks good and is going to taste good. So I'm going to wait a few minutes and I'm going to cut into it. So you can serve this with a side of salad and a little dollop of sour cream or tzatziki sauce if you have it on hand. I'm going to go in and take a bite. So delicious. All of the vegetables are perfectly cooked. The tomatoes on top keep the meat really nice and moist. The meat sauce on the bottom, it never overcooks. The cauliflower tastes so good, you will not miss the potatoes or the cream sauce because there's so much flavor in this. I hope you guys give it a try. Head on over to the website, www.dimitrosdishes.com, to print this recipe. The ingredient list is also underneath this video in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. If you want to see more low-carb recipes, make sure you thumbs up this video so that way I know. I will see you all next time. Yes, us.